The word cashew is synonymous with the village of Crooked Tree, and that's exactly where we are today, looking at the many uses of cashew. Of course, if you pick it right off the tree, there's always the option of eating the actual fruit. But then again, if it falls to the ground and you don't want to pick it up and wash it, you have other options, which include taking the nut and roasting it, taking the actual fruit, washing it, and then stewing it, and of course, turning it into wine. Today, we're going to be taking a look at exactly how you roast a cashew seed and also how you stew cashew. You don't want to miss this because it's going to be quintessential village life. Nothing like this. Check it out.
I've been doing this for the last 2 days. Not continuously, but a couple hours a day. And it's the cashew with brown sugar, a little bit of spice seed, and orange peel.
You could cook it for another 2-3 days, or you could, or another day or so. The real secret with this, I don't know if I should reveal the real secret, is the container that you stew it in, the pot. You cannot stew cashew in an iron pot. It has to be aluminum, right? Because the iron pot, the cashew has a lot of iron in it already, and so if you stew it in an iron pot, I mean, it's going to really be too intense. So it's going to really pull most of the iron out of it. So that's the trick.
You're still using the traditional fire hearth. Why that as opposed to butane gas stove or electric stove?
Well, several reasons. It's inexpensive because we have like a lot of wood around here in abundance. I mean, you just a lot of wood. But the main thing, I believe, it's the taste.
And how long does it stay after that? Once you've bottled it off and stuff like that?
After you actually stew it, because of the sugar in it, it kind of preserve it. So you can have it for once you keep it in a jar, maybe a glass jar is best. You can have it up for months, years. It all depends. Roasting the cashew nut, we used pine wood. It's not like cooking. It's not like stewing the cashew. We use the oak wood because we rather, for roasting the nut, we rather the pine wood because it maintains a higher, just like the oak wood, a higher heat. It maintains a constant heat. So for roasting cashew, you really want a high heat, high flame, because you don't roast them for too long. It's no joke roasting cashew nut. I mean, it's a lot of work. The first thing you have to do is to pick them up from under the trees, like over here. And it all depends on how you pick them up. Then, like this, and then you have to take the nut off, right? So this is what we're roasting over here, right? And this is what we're stewing, right? And then after you collect the nuts from under the trees, you got to put them out in the sun to dry, like over here. These have been in the sun for, I guess, for like a couple of weeks now. And it all depends on when you pick them up from under the trees, because like if you pick them up from under the trees when they just fall, then you have to sun them for a longer time. I'm going to take some of these and I'm going to put them in that roasting pan over here, because the fire look okay. I mean, I got the fire. I'll just collect some. I'll take I think for that size pan you can almost do most of these. Dump them in. Right, so I gotta keep turning this. Okay, you gotta stir it, and just avoid the flame. So it's gonna take a little. And this thing has a lot of sap. The oil from this is it's flammable. So what you got to do, as soon as the oil starts to melt down, like you can hear something melt down, this will flame up in a little bit. So we just got to keep stirring this. because you don't want to roast them, over roast them, because then you still have to bake them.
So what's the purpose of roasting it at this point if you still have to bake them?
Roasting is like cooking them, okay. And baking is just to give them that finish.
So if you don't continue to stir, then they catch fire.
Burn. They will not roast evenly. Okay. You see there, so you don't want them to burn. See? Keep stirring. There we go. There we go. So that's what you need. You see, once you have it here like that, with the fire in there, this is where it's starting to get tricky. It's almost done. And this is pretty much done here like this, because you're going to still bake him. So now what I got to do is to take this, right? I'm going to pull it off. Normally you put a piece of thing here, but I'm going to, right? And then I had this branch right here. Right, so you can just
douse the flame.
Right? So, and then that's done, then you take it and you put it on a piece of tin, or you're right, or a piece of zinc.
And then now you got to spread them out to cool them.
Because of the acid in it, what happens if you crack them or pick them up as they are right now?
Well, right now they're very hot, and if you crack them with your bare hands, even after they're cooled, because of all the acid, it strips the layer off your hands. I mean, your hands get as brown as those cashew right there. And after a couple of days, maybe 2 or 3 days, they start peeling off, just like when you get sunburned. We sprinkle ashes from the fire heart on the cashew nuts to coat them, to dry up the fat. It's not just the acid, but cashew has a lot of oil.
Yeah.
So this is how it's done after it's roasted. It's one nut at a time. You got to crack them, take your fingers, open them, drop them in there.
You have people who are really skilled at it, at actually breaking. Patience.
But it's good money. If you go to anybody who roasts cashew seed and sell them, it's $20 a quart. And most people in Crooked Tree, when it's a good crop, a good season, get anywhere between 10 to 25 bags of cashew seed. So it's a good income for us in the village. Most people stick it in the oven because it's easier, but a lot of people just put it on a baking pot on the fire heart with a tin cover and wood on the top and bake it like you bake Johnny cake.
So it's on the top?
Yeah.
As opposed to on the...
A little bit, and just a little bit of coal underneath, but the main heat is on the top of on a piece of tin, and let them cool, and then you just take this outer layer off.
Okay.
And then you get a finished product.
And these are just some of the products that you get from the cashew. That's stew cashew, this is cashew wine, and if you want it all natural, the cashew fruit. Nothing tastes as good as that, but of course, the concern of staining your clothing and your teeth if you're not careful. But my favorite is definitely the cashew seed or the nut. And one thing I learned today is definitely how much energy, how much effort goes into bringing cashew seed to you on Albert Street. So the next time there's a small bag and they say $10, not ask, what? Say, okay, I understand. Pay the $10 and you will enjoy it even more. Back to you, Marlene, right there in the studio. I have some cashew seed for you.